Hey, students of iMarkets Live. The following Crypto Academy video is designed to help you understand how to read an exchange order book. We're going to be taking a look at two different examples. The first, a more popular cryptocurrency exchange owned and operated by Coinbase. It is called GDAX. And the second one we'll be taking a look at is Bitfinex. Remember, we're all learning together, and it's essential you implement the knowledge within. Should you accept the full risk and responsibility, please continue forward with the training now. This lesson will focus on answering the following questions. Before we continue, pause the video to read through them now, and be certain you minimize any distractions. The following video is going to show you how to read an exchange order book. The interface may vary based upon which exchange data you're considering, but understand that the fundamentals will be fairly similar and consistent regardless of where you choose to trade. Over here on the left, we can identify that we do not need an account to access this information. Some of these levels are changing very, very rapidly. This is due to the algorithmic influence that's occurring, and understand that everything in the red are simply sell limits. They're areas that exist above where current price is. The areas in green reflect all of the buy limits, those individuals and investors who consider that price could come lower, and they're waiting patiently for the best possible time to hop in. The last trade price, it's going to be reflected by everything that's happening in the trade history over here on the right. This particular exchange, it is compatible with mobile devices, and it is the GDAX exchange. It is owned by Coinbase, and when we're looking at the trade size, the volume that's occurring of how much people are looking to sell or buy, you can notice that the bar is going to be different the larger that individual trade was. We can identify the timestamp over on the right and recognize if we're experiencing high levels of volatility or if we are trading in a more tame environment at this particular point in time. Over the last 24 hours, at the time of this recording, there's been a total of 12,270 Bitcoin traded. Now, this number is going to fluctuate. It's going to change depending on the asset you are looking at. And what I want you to understand is with the depth of the market we're currently getting, we don't have the ability to see too many levels based off of the current aggregation type. We can see from $7,987.65 down to about 7,975. So what we're going to do is we're going to scale it out so that we can see more than just $20 worth of orders. And once we're on that $10 aggregation level, we're going to be able to see the market separated by $10 differences for each price that we can consider. We're able to easily identify areas of significance, levels that have accumulated hundreds of Bitcoin on it, so that we can gain a better understanding of which price points hold some psychological influence over investors, which areas in the chart that people have really believed with some conviction that it may be the best time to buy their particular cryptocurrency. In this example, a market like Bitcoin, we can also identify all of those areas where investors that currently hold some of the asset are looking to sell at. Those significant areas that have hundreds of Bitcoin, they will change based upon the market conditions. And we have to understand that these limit orders for both the sellers and the buyers aren't going to determine the price movement. What happens when price goes higher or lower is actually determined by the market executions, the individuals and algorithms that have decided to move the price, whether it be buying a specific dollar amount in cryptocurrency. And we can see that if somebody were to come in right now with $5 million and buy this particular asset, they would be picking up about 616 Bitcoin. That would be pushing price up through these levels until the entire order was filled. And the same thing can be said for the sell. If somebody had 1,000 Bitcoin and they were looking to sell that immediately, they would be able to do that, but it's going to push the market down until their entire position has been filled, and that is going to reflect what happens with the price change. GDAX does offer us some basic technical analysis information, such as a chart, some volume bars, the timestamp with the open, high, low, and close of that particular candle. We can go and look at the daily, 6-hour, hourly, 15-minute, 5-minute, and 1-minute candles. Understanding that there are investors that trade and make decisions based off of this information. The chart is very limited. You cannot scroll it to the left. So it is recommended that you do some more due diligence and leverage a tool such as TradingView or MetaTrader, something that gives you access to a little bit more information. The depth of the market that we can see identified down here. We're able to notice those times where there is some equilibrium or if the market has become imbalanced. And although we can only see down to a specific price level for the buy limits, and we can only see as high as a specific price level for the sell limits, we can get much more information by scaling this out. And now we're able to identify all the way down to the $2,000.28 price level. We're able to see that there's a total accumulation of about 15,950 buy limits on this exchange waiting to be executed into the market. And what's fascinating is we can see that exact same information for the sell. It gives us an understanding of who has actually put their Bitcoin onto this exchange. And we can also notice that at specific price levels, it's almost as if the market gaps. Look at this $6,000 area. We can see that as we get closer to it, at $6,001.18, there's a total of 6,777 Bitcoin at this particular moment between current price and this price point. Once we surpass 6,000, it's almost as if it jumps. There's a little gap. So even though we can't see all the way down to 6,000 on the order book over here, we're able to speculate that right now there are hundreds of Bitcoin sitting on that $6,000 price level just out of reach for us to visually see over here. But it's very, very clear that these orders are real. Even though they're going to change, they're going to fluctuate as investors decide that it's time to enter new limit positions, whether it's being on the buy or sell. They also have the flexibility to manage their stops. But most importantly, the information that we see over here is just one source of data. Recognize that the GDAX exchange owned by Coinbase, when we're looking at TradingView, it has a little bit of a difference in price when we consider what's happening on Bitfinex. $8,001.99 for GDAX, $8,011.20 on Bitfinex. That little bit of a discrepancy in the price. It's because it's two different pieces of information. Now, the Bitfinex order book presents us the same information. The bids are all of the buy limits. The asks are all of the sells. When we talk about the price displayed, this over here under the bids is the exact same information that we were just looking at right here. It just looks different. The amount is how much of the asset is sitting on that particular price level. So if we were to go all the way down and look at a level such as 7,500, we can scroll, we could type it in, and we can visualize along the way which price points hold some significance with that same mentality of looking for 100 or greater Bitcoin. When we get down to the $7,580 price, 219 Bitcoin, and a total accumulation of 3,402 Bitcoin at this point in time, between current price at 8,010 and $7,580. What this means is if somebody were to come into the market and push through a market execution order of 3,500 Bitcoin, there is the possibility that that one sell could push price all the way down hundreds of dollars until we successfully reach this level. These levels are going to change. That algorithms will influence how far price actually goes. And recognizing that we get that exact same information for these sellers over here on the right hand side, the price, the total accumulation of how many sell orders are waiting to be executed into the market, and the quantity of how many Bitcoin or whichever order book you're looking at are sitting at that particular price at the moment in time that you are looking at the data. Even though this information is going to change when we talk about the quantity and the accumulation of orders between any given price, the fundamentals remain the same. And this is very valuable information for you to be able to recognize which areas are interesting for any cryptocurrency asset that you are choosing to trade. And you're also able to take it one step further and implement these areas of support and resistance on your chart by understanding the concept of supply and demand and by recognizing the influence that it has within the marketplace. In summary, the user interface of an exchange order book will vary, but regardless, the information is valuable because traders around the world are interpreting this data to help make decisions in the market. Realize not all cryptocurrency exchanges are created equally, so it's very normal that the data they're showing is going to fluctuate. Be sure to leverage our resources and actually implement the education, because all trading requires is persistence, discipline, and acceptance that you can learn this skill set.